MGTOW, IBMOR Warrior. I'm back up in this motherfucker. I know I've been out for a little minute, you feel me? But things got real stressful at my wage slave plantation. But I'm off this week, motherfuckers, so I'm about to make some videos. Now today we're going to talk about the evil nature of women, part 1. And we're going to talk about the classic manosphere concept. Alpha fucks, beta bucks. This concept really exposes how evil and deceitful women are. And we all know this. We know that typically the woman, when she is young and in her prime years of beauty and childbirth and all that wonderful stuff, when she's in her prime years, she tends to deal with the most reprehensible and deplorable men available, the so-called bad boys, the so-called thugs, the so-called cads, if you will, the so-called players, if you will. And these are what I guess you could say generally are the top 10% of desirable men. Now, the whole Briffault's Law thing, is 80-20. But honestly, in the age of Tinder and smartphones, it's at least 90-10, and that's a conservative estimate. It's at least 90-10 as far as the percentage of guys who get the majority of pussy. It used to be 20% got the majority of the pussy overall, but now it's 10% at the most of guys get the majority of pussy. But that's a whole other story. We'll put a pin in that. So typically, while the woman is young, this is what she does. She whores around with the top chads, if you will, and in the black community, the Jamals and the Tyrones and the Pookies and the Ray Rays and the Dirty Dick Rodneys and so forth and so on. Okay? And in the black community, they tend to get pregnant by these motherfuckers too. And white bitches are generally smart enough not to do that, even though a lot of them aren't either in this day and age. But that's a whole other story. Now, when they've gotten tired of perpetual fuckery, perpetual failure, and perpetual being smutted out, then they go to your ass. The good old provider male, the so-called beta provider, and the so-called educated lame, like you and me, right? This is what they do. Not only is a problem that they wait till they are used out, stretched out, smutted out, sometimes with kids, they wait till then to do this. That's not even my biggest problem with that. That's not even my biggest problem with that, with what these women do. My biggest problem is that when they finally get to your ass, the responsible, hardworking man, when they finally get to you, they are no longer the sex freak that they were when they were riding the alpha cock carousel. That's the biggest fucking problem that I have. When I first got with my ex, I remember we had a conversation about this, and because I'm the type of person, I talk about anything with everybody, and I wasn't as much of an enlightened MGTOW, and not anywhere near that back then, but I always, ever since college, I kind of always had a little bit of knowledge of how shit works. And so I was asking her why women do this, why this phenomenon exists of the woman going for the so-called bad boys in early age and then going for the so-called nice guys later on. And she said something to me that in hindsight made me realize that women consciously exercise alpha fucks beta bucks very consciously, because what she said to me essentially described alpha fucks beta bucks without saying it. She said, well, we see the bad boys as fun, and when we deal with them, we're just dealing with them for fun. We know that we're just dealing with them for fun, and it's not serious. So that's why we'll give it up to him quickly, because we're not taking him seriously. We know that he's just for fun. And when we get with a good guy, we want it to be special. We want him to respect us. We want it to be on a different level. We want to connect on a different level with him. And, you know, right then and there, that was a huge red flag. But right then and there, I should have realized what time it was with this bitch. But I realized in hindsight that she actually laid out from a woman's perspective the alpha bucks, beta bucks paradigm. Okay, listen to what she said. She said that the bad boys are fun. We give it up to them early because it's fun. We're not taking it we're not taking them seriously, quote unquote. And I'll explain what that means. And then when we get the good guy, we want to build with him. We want him to respect us. We want to connect with him. So essentially what she's saying is that the so-called bad boy is the one with whom they use their pussies for their own personal pleasure and recreation. Let me say that again. When these women are dealing with the bad boys, they are using their pussies for their own personal pleasure and recreation. Okay? They're using their pussies for pleasure and recreation. However, when they come over to the side of the so-called educated lame and the so-called beta provider male, then what they're doing, and I need you to catch this, what they're doing is they're using their pussies as a bargaining chip. They're using their pussies as a bargaining chip now to procure the resources from that provider male. So in either case, they're using their vagina for two different purposes. And this is why when they come over to the side of the educated lame, now all of a sudden they're so goddamn innocent. They play the fucking innocent role, which I just got to talk about that for a second. I hate that shit. I've learned the hard way throughout my life of years and years and years of constantly being attracted to and dating the so-called innocent types. Those are the worst bitches in the game. I'm trying to tell you, any young niggas listen to this, please listen to what I'm telling you if you don't get nothing else out of this video. If you don't get shit else out of this video, if you're a young brother watching this, if you don't get shit else from this video, know that stay away from the innocent acting bitches. Those are the worst, most deceitful, deceptive bitches in the game. Those are the most deceptive people on fucking earth. Period. The innocent acting bitch is the most deceptive person on fucking earth. I'm telling you what I know. You know what I'm saying? And that's my thing. If you're gonna be a hoe, be a hoe. Okay? A lot of you innocent acting bitches out here, y'all bitches done got trains ran on you. Okay? Like any other hood thought. You bitches done let Dirty Dick Rodney fuck. Several Dirty Dick Rodneys fuck like every other hood thought. You bitches done been dyking and doing threesomes like every other wild bitch out here. Okay? You know, you innocent and bougie acting bitches done did the same thing that all the hood dots done did, but you know, you have a cool little job and you have this public face that you show, and then when you come and try to fuck with a nigga like me, a so-called educated lame, then you have this whole innocent thing, and you're not trying to fuck, and you're not trying to suck dick, and if you are, you're not trying to fucking catch no nut. You know what I'm saying? You're not trying to, you know what I'm saying? You're not trying to do all of the shit that you was doing back with Chad and Tyrone and Rodney and Pookie and Ray Ray. All that shit you was doing with them easy the first night. When it comes to the so-called educated lame, you not with none of that shit, because you're using the pussy as a bargaining chip to extract his resources. Brothers, I need you to hear me and feel me on this. So my thing is, bitch, if you're gonna be a hoe, be the same hoe that you was with Pookie and Ray Ray with me. You know, I wouldn't even have that much of a problem with trading resources for sex if it wasn't this all of a sudden holier than thou thing. If a bitch was just as much of a hoe when she got to me than she was with Pookie and Ray Ray, I wouldn't really mind that much about the extracting resources for sex. Okay, but I really hate the switch up. The switch up is what gets me. That's what I hate, the dishonesty. The dishonesty, that is what fucking boils me up. If I get with you, bitch, and, you know, you're a hoe just like every other bitch, because every bitch out here is a hoe in 2017, every bitch. Okay, so if I start dealing with you, and you're not trying to let me fuck when I want to fuck, and you're not trying to swallow my cum, then bitch, get your dog ass out of here. Fuck is you talking about? I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? That's what they will do. They'll do the motherfucking switch up. And some of you niggas is out here wifing up single mothers, but that's a whole other story. I never even dated a single mother. That's a whole story for another video. But this shit's gotta stop. This is why I'm not fucking with none of you bitches, because you bitches are evil. You know what I'm saying? That's what the fuck you bitches do. You bitches are evil. You bitches are so evil because that's what y'all do. Y'all go over here with one nigga and it's one thing, and you come over here and it's another thing. And a lot of it, people think it's about the quality of the sex. People think that, oh, the bad boy automatically gives better sex. First of all, that's an idiotic thing to even believe on a mass scale anyway, number one, because just, you know, the law of averages and any other mathematical principles will tell you that there's got to be some variation in the sexual quality. You know what I'm saying? But not only that, okay, I understand that, you know, I'm very good at sex. I don't want to harp on this or anything like that, because I'm trying to like not give a fuck about sex anymore. But the thing is, like, I'm very good at sex. I know how to give a bitch several orgasms. It's a skill level. It's a skill set that I've acquired, and I'm very adept at that skill. Okay. But there's something I didn't understand for the longest time. You know, I always was like, well, damn, I know I'm way better at sex than the average Chad or the average Tyrone, because like my skill level and I know when a bitch is having an orgasm, and I know I've made bitches have several squirting orgasms and you know, things like that. I know this for a fact. I'm like, you know, but a bitch, even if a bitch does let me fuck and I give her several orgasms, you know, and she still goes back and fucks with Chad and Tyrone. Here's the thing that I didn't understand before, is that for them, it's more than the pure physical release of the orgasm. You know, because first of all, they have all types of motherfucking magic wands and fucking pocket rockets and all types of rabbits and all types of shit that they have now if they want to have earth-shattering orgasms, number one. And number two, the idea of having sex with that desirable Chad and that desirable Tyrone and Jamal, the idea of having sex with that man is more valuable to the woman than the physical orgasms that a dude like me could give her. And I need you to catch that. I'm going to say it again. The idea of sleeping with a top 10% desirable guy is more valuable to a woman than the physical orgasms that a guy, a so-called educated lame, could give her, no matter how good he is at fucking and eating pussy, because it's about more than just a physical orgasm. Okay? Those 10 orgasms that I could give a bitch by eating her pussy and fucking her, she could probably have those 10 orgasms by herself with all the fucking power tools they got for bitches' pussies nowadays. Okay? And get this, the Chad and the Tyrone and the Jamal, they can fuck the bitch and give her no orgasms, but she would still rather want that. Okay? And a matter of fact, a lot of times they prefer that. Here's why, because the Chad and the Tyrone, he's not focused on pleasing the bitch, and they like that. You know, they love being treated like shit. We've proven this several times, that they love being treated like shit. So even in the bedroom, if a nigga just fucks and discards the bitch, they like that. That's hot to them. I was reading the book No More Mr. Nice Guy years ago. I need to buy another copy because I lent it to a friend and he never gave it back to me, but it's cool because he needed it. But in the book, if I can recall correctly, there was a story about one of his clients, his psychology clients, and basically the client was always trying to do everything to please his wife, not only sexually but just in life. But when it came to the sex, he always had the same dilemma. He always gave his wife orgasms. He always made sure that she came first, always made sure that she was good, but the wife still wasn't really into it. Okay, then you know, the author, who's a great psychologist, he told the guy, you know, to start focusing on himself more. You know what I'm saying? And start focusing on his own needs, both in the bedroom and out. And when he started focusing on his own needs, and especially in the bedroom, and he would just fuck to get his nut and fuck the shit out of the bitch for a couple minutes and get his nut, the bitch said that's the hottest sex that they ever had. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because he didn't give a fuck about her in that moment. And that's what they like. That's what they like. It's like animals. You know what I'm saying? We can learn a lot about sexuality by looking at the animal kingdom. You know what I'm saying? You ever seen a gorilla fuck his bitch? You ever seen a fucking gorilla? A gorilla fuck his bitch, and he hop on her ass for like 30 seconds, fuck the shit out of her, bust his nut, and fucking leave. You know what I'm saying? And that's how most animals fuck. You know what I'm saying? The gorilla ain't trying to caress the bitch and comfort the bitch and, you know, all this other shit. Make sure the bitch is all right and massage the bitch and all this other shit. Laying rose petals for the bitch and all that. Like, the gorilla's like, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. So we can learn a lot from that. So I say all this to say that, you know, women enjoy being treated like shit. We all know this. But the thing is, when it comes to a guy who can actually do something for them outside of just status and image and possible sexual gratification, when it comes to a guy who could actually do something for them financially and, you know, be a good father and do all these things like that, then the pussy becomes a means of transaction instead of a means of pleasure. Okay? And that's why these bitches switch up when they get to a good nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's why they switch up, because then all of a sudden the pussy becomes a means of transaction, and now they're not as wild as and free with the pussy because they need to create a demand for their product. It's capitalism. You know what I'm saying? They have, you know, a supply of pussy, and they need to create an artificial demand for the pussy by holding out on you, okay, so that it'll be a greater demand on their part so that they can essentially sell their pussy to you at a higher price. But y'all don't hear me though. Anyway, man, this is MGTOW, IBMOR Warrior. I'm out this bitch.